Hello, it is Friday, January 14th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Friday puzzle, of course, so a themeless puzzle, our first themeless puzzle of the week, the first of two, and probably fairly difficult. And this themeless edition of the Daily Solve, is brought to you by Stephanie Fredericks, Dan Stocco, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. So thank you to the three of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. If you'd like to join their ranks and as benefactors, they're entitled to the exclusive Let's Check the Crosses mug. You can find more information at patreon.com/dailysolve. That's how you can directly support this channel and make it a sustainable enterprise for me. And I very much appreciate everybody who has contributed to the Patreon in any capacity at any level. And everyone at any level gets access to the full range of bonus video solves. And actually, it's Friday, which means I will soon be doing the weekly mini puzzle speed solve. So yes, more information in the description field underneath the link. Also, everybody in the Patreon campaign gets access to an additional channel in the Daily Solve Discord chat server, the rest of which is free to join, and the link is in the description field as well. Also, on a different note, I streamed Babel Royale again last night. That's the competitive Scrabble-inspired multiplayer game. So it's not up on the channel yet. It seems to take a while for YouTube to process those long live stream videos, but I will get it up on the channel as soon as I can. Part 2 of 2 so far. We'll see if I do any more streaming of that. I attempted the keyboard controls rather than the mouse and keyboard controls last night because I was informed that the professional players use the keyboard only, so I tried that. Had a few good games and some less than good games. Okay, let's discuss some clues from yesterday's puzzle before we kick off today's. Matthew F. says, you were struggling with the fit for the answer oddly, clued as not as expected. The framing for me to see the fit is something like, this is clued not as expected, or this is clued oddly. Yep, fair enough. I don't know why I stumbled on that. That just seems to happen sometimes. Kind of strange, but yes, I think you're exactly right. And both Matthew F. and Ronald Bryan were very pleased to see Acton, the town of Acton, clued in the crossword because of family connections. And there's an Acton here in London as well, but that was not the one being clued in the crossword. And Kathy Swopes corrects my unforgivable lapse. She explains, badges, we don't need no stinkin' badges, is a widely quoted paraphrase of a line of dialogue from the 1948 film The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. That line was in turn derived from dialogue in the 1927 novel of the same name, which was the basis for the film. And Any Prophet points out, I always forget that because Blazing Saddles has superseded it in my mind. Yes, of course, that is a line from The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, or paraphrased from it anyway. I am surprised I forgot that. It's a great film, the John Huston film starring Humphrey Bogart. And since I'm here, since I'm talking about The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, I would recommend as a pairing to The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Billy Wilder's, I suppose slightly less well-known, but I think equally excellent and cynical film Ace in the Hole, starring Kirk Douglas, which was made just a few years later. It was made fairly close proximity to Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and also is a fairly bleak portrayal of human nature, but a really, really great film. So anyway, both excellent and worth checking out if you've not seen them. So let's solve the Friday crossword. How about that? This is a puzzle constructed by Matthew Stock and Sid Sivakumar. Believe I've solved puzzles by both of these constructors on the channel. Certainly Sid Sivakumar. I think I solved one of his puzzles fairly early in the run of the Daily Solve, and had a very nice conversation with him over Twitter DM, which I very much enjoyed. And this is, as I said, a themeless puzzle, so no theme. I don't really know where I was going with that. It's a themeless puzzle, so there's no theme. That's all there is to say about that, I suppose. It's just crossword fill, unadulterated crossword fill, and could be on the tricky side. So let's get started. Okay. One playing second fiddle, perhaps. I'm not sure. Someone who's in one's shadow, but I'm not sure. St. Louis clock setting, briefly. Oh, is that Central Standard Time, probably? That would be my guess, that it would be Central Time. I don't know if it's Central or Daylight. It could be either. Hybrid fare, fare. So hybrid fare, fare, I see. So something that is food that is served at a fair that is hybrid in some way. And I suppose it could start with, probably starts with a C. I'm not sure, though. And this almost certainly ends with a T for time in the clock setting. Conflict that may involve sanctions could be a trade war. You could have trade sanctions placed on another country. And blank Jones. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, for instance, stock index. Or not an index, but a sort of, I don't know, representation of stock values, sort of abstracted. It's sort of an odd measurement. Donations for life. Donations for life. OVA, maybe? You donate eggs? Maybe. Hybrid fare, right. What is this? Still not sure. And here we have 2013 Macklemore Ryan Lewis hit with the lyric, "And I can't change even if I tried." I don't actually know if I've heard any songs by Macklemore, and I don't even know if I know who Ryan Lewis is, let alone knowing any of their music, so I'm sorry about that. Burn could be sear or char. Actually, char seems more likely to use char as a synonym for burn than sear, but let's check the crosses on that. Heart. I'm actually not sure. An Italian verse form. And here we have kicked butt. It probably has an ED at the end, doesn't it? Not a sterling start for me on this crossword, I must say. Not allowed to go back, say. In exile, maybe? Yes, and the heart of the matter is the crux of the matter. There we go. All right. In exile is a huge help there. And this looks like love. You wouldn't really do too badly to, generally speaking, bet that a song title is going to have the word love in it. So, save love, maybe? No. Because this will be either D or S for daylight or summertime. Oh, right. So it could be save love, actually. And then this I thought maybe was C for central time in hybrid fare. Hybrid fare. What? Why do I not see what that is? I'm sorry. Is this Riva, the Italian verse form? Would that mean anything if this were I? Oh, chili dog. Yes. Okay, great. So it is Riva. And chili dog. And save love, in fact, might be correct. Well, in fact, might be. Of course, it is factually true that it might be correct. But it actually looks plausible. Save love, Central Standard Time. Kicked butt could be ruled, as in that ruled, that kicked butt. And shifted in a theater, say. Shifted in a theater. Is that having to do with sort of shifting in your seat, reorienting your weight or something? I'm not sure. Or it could be shifting scenes or actors. I'm actually not sure. When repeated, call to someone going to bed. Night, you might say. And the night is repeated. So there we have that. Place of rest away from everything. I don't know, a haven that doesn't fit with the I. Here we have what purple prose and technical jargon have in common. Ornament or decoration or complexity or density. None of these things are remotely correct with that G. Here we have modern source of juice. A source of juice could be a charger. It could be juice for an electronics device, so some kind of charger. Cell phone charger? Battery charger? Let's look at some downs here. World of blank. And a summer sip suffix could be aid, as in lemonade or limeade. Coolio. So that feels like sort of a 90s era exclamation. So we could have similarly something like rad for radical, which was quite often employed in that same era, I would say. It's a challenge. And warning. Red light, maybe? Is there any possible way that could be warning? Maybe. What was this? World of blank. Could be World of Warcraft, the computer game. And a modern source of juice could be a wireless charger. There we go. We've, I think anyway, completed our centerpiece, full grid spanning answer here. Wireless charger, modern source of juice. That's a good clue. That's a very clever clue. All right, here we have it's a challenge. Oh. Okay, so this is describing a phrase one would say to create a challenge. In other words, this is a challenge delivered to somebody. I dare you. At least I think that's probably what it is. There we go. So this is one of those rare clues that actually describes the answer rather than defines the answer, if you see what I mean. So you couldn't replace the words I dare you with the words it's a challenge. It doesn't make sense. Well, I suppose it sort of could in an abstract sense. You could say it's a challenge and therefore imply I dare you, but that's less what's going on than that it's a challenge is describing the phrase I dare you. And that is relatively rare, but does happen. Here we have when repeated, an expression of disapproval is tut, tut, tut. So we have two when repeateds. What was the other one? We had when repeated, call to someone going to bed. So night, night, and tut, tut. Warning. Maybe this is red light. I was no, it's not. Because CRL doesn't look like anything. Dandy accessories. So a dandy, a sort of, I don't know, a fop, someone who's very nattily dressed. It could be wearing a cravat, or in this case, cravats because it's pluralized. And cool it could be relax. Oh, red alert is the warning. Yes. Why did I keep thinking red light? Red alert, of course. That is the actual phrase and concept associated with warnings. A sense, a sea. So a sense, a sea. That's a fun sort of assonant clue. Answering in the affirmative on a boat. Eyes, and because it's a sense is plural, so there's it's plural. That's that. And here we have like the universe is vast and a stronghold is a fort. I haven't seen that clue yet. What about this? Onceler's opponent in a Dr. Seuss book, sorry. The Lorax, it must be. I mean, with this AX at the end, that must be the case. I think I really liked that book as a child, The Lorax. I sort of vaguely remember the character, the Onceler, but I don't remember it in great detail. That's a shame. Anyway, the Lorax, I believe, is the answer. The sort of environmentally minded character. Responds to an alarm in a way. Rises, perhaps, from bed? Can that be the answer? This is please blank, printed request. Please, I don't know, remit as in remit payment? I don't know. Might remove rises. I could probably keep the S because it's responds, but not sure about the rest. Choice in a cabin. A room or a bed or choice in a cabin. Could be an aircraft cabin, I suppose, or... yeah, actually, if it were in an aircraft cabin, it could be an aisle seat as opposed to a window seat or a middle seat. So choice in a cabin, I think that might be right, actually. And place of rest away from everything. Well, the A works with haven, but I'm sure that I is correct, so it's not. I just keep thinking that. It could be a cabin, but that's not a close enough fit. It just occurred to me because we're crossing with choice in a cabin. What is this? Place of rest away from everything. Sorry if you're seeing this immediately. What about this one? What purple prose, right, and technical jargon have in common? I'm still not sure about that. And here we have build your own IHOP order. That could be an omelet. I think we had omelet in the crossword just within the past couple of days, but it was spelled O-M-E-L-E-T without the sort of French retained extra feminine T-E at the end. So I suppose those both must be considered valid English spellings. Maybe this is please remit, as in payment. And then what would this be? Responds to an alarm. Right, that would allow this to be rises. So perhaps that's true. Boy, for some reason, I wasn't expecting that to work, but maybe it does. And what purple prose and technical jargon have in common. The only reason I say that is because I think of please remit as being something you see a lot more here in the UK than in the US, but that could be completely wrong. I'm going to feel very silly when I finally get this purple prose and technical jargon thing, because it seems as though I should have been able to by now, given I have half of the letters already. And here we have go gaga for. That could be obsess over. That looks right. And anything down here that gives us? Abbreviation near 0. 1 degree? I don't know, probably not. Here we have Sith superpower. So Sith from Star Wars, presumably. What is a Sith superpower? I don't know. They use the dark side of the Force. Not sure. Lightning? In the Return of the Jedi, the Emperor had lightning. Darth Vader is very strong. Overpowering? That's nothing. He could choke people remotely. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and keep guessing this. I'm obviously not getting it. This better not get out. Be quiet or keep a secret or something. I'm not sure. Oh, here we have an ellipses and then abbreviation for that punctuation mark. So maybe ELL for ellipses? No, that doesn't look right with LR here. This says playing God. I'm not sure. What is this? So what purple prose and technical jargon have in common? Maybe I have something wrong. Verbose? No, verbose wouldn't fit. Maybe I don't have anything wrong and I'm just incredibly unobservant. Well, place of rest away from everything could be an oasis. Sort of used metaphorically often to mean that. Shifted in a theater. Oh, so reseated. Maybe I was correct about that. Either you reseated yourself or an usher perhaps reseated you. Oh, I see. What purple prose and technical jargon have in common? Verbiage, I guess? So does verbiage intrinsically imply, I suppose, a surfeit of vocabulary? There must be an implication of this. Interesting. Okay. So I suppose I'm not surprised I didn't get that, but that's interesting. I'll have to look up the precise definition of verbiage after this. Osaka and others. Well, there's cities. What is this? Aces. Oh, no. Tennis aces. Right. The tennis player. I don't think I remember the rest of her name. I'm sorry. I know I said I would last time I came across it, but I think it was because it was clued the other way around. I don't remember. Well, sorry about that. Anyway, Blank Academy, Organization for Self-Paced Education Online, the Khan Academy. I think I've never used it, but I think it's sort of like the Open University kind of thing. And here we have footwear brand. Avia? Is Avia a footwear brand? I'm not sure. I'm not going to fill that in. I'm not confident enough. One who's light-headed. A lush, maybe? No, I don't think so. Would you describe a sort of tipsy person as lightheaded? That's why I thought maybe it would be a lush. Hotels have ones in front. Well, it's plural. Parks, as in car parks? That doesn't seem right. I'm not sure what that is. Desks? Front desks? Maybe that's what it is, right. You do use the word front desk that is particularly applied to hotels. So perhaps that's the case. And one playing second fiddle. Well, I just thought student, but it's singular, so that wouldn't work. I'm not sure. And move a cursor across. Oh, I hadn't seen this clue. Move a cursor across. Mouse over. Yes, like moving a cursor across this clue. Mousing over it. A bit of work could be an erg, the unit of work in physics. And here we have where to try out some gunpowder. Where to try out some gunpowder. A tea? Could it be gunpowder tea, maybe? I'm not seeing what that would mean in this particular context. What was this again? Right. One who's lightheaded. Noah from the Bible was somehow? No, I'm just trying to think what could fit here. Pooh is in Winnie the Pooh. I don't know. His head was made of fluff. Footwear brand. Oh, maybe this is Avia. That did seem familiar, so maybe it's correct. And one playing second fiddle, perhaps. Oh, a bandmate, maybe. Oh, that's funny. So, this is not using it in the colloquial sense. It's saying literally someone playing the second fiddle. It could be your bandmate playing the other fiddle. And organization whose initials are found in unsafe. Ironically, the NSA, the National Security Agency, right, whose letters do appear in the word unsafe. It's a bit of a cryptic clue there. One who's lightheaded, a moth. There we go. A moth will head to the light. A moth's consumed. Their head is full of thoughts of the light. They want the light. Where to try out some gunpowder? Oh, maybe this is tea related after all. Tea tasting. Could that work? And a Google Docs feature is autosave. Google Docs does autosave. All right. It's all coming together. Headwear for many a barbershop quartet singer. Bow tie. Oh, maybe it's not tea tasting after all. I was so excited about my early guess. So bow tie, and then what? What is this? Where to try out some gunpowder? Now I don't know. What about this? Cars 2 competitor, blank Bon. I have no idea. But actually, so I've not seen Cars 2, but it must be Autobahn, right? Oh, no. I bet it's OTTO because this is probably the name of a car character in the film Cars 2, and their name is probably Autobahn, and they're probably German, and they probably have a ridiculous stereotypical accent because I remember most of the characters in Cars were characterized that way. All right, got together could be mated. And where to try out some gunpowder? Raw tasting? Saw tasting? I'm sorry. This is probably blindingly obvious. What do I not see here? And here, they can be friendly while patronizing. Heists? Sorry, I'm obviously missing something important. Author, okay, something's wrong. Author of what I know for sure familiarly. Ending in that AH. Could this be Oprah? I've obviously done something incorrect. That auto, though, I was pretty pleased about guessing that, so I sort of want it to be right. I'm not familiar with what I know for sure, but ending in an AH, and it says familiarly. In other words, this is going to be a name by which someone is known familiarly, as opposed to it just being their first. Well, so sure, Oprah Winfrey, her name is Oprah Winfrey, but the reason I think the familiarly implies that is because people tend to refer to her by that first name in almost any context when someone else might be referred to by their surname. Anyway. Got together is met up. Boy, wow. Mated was quite a tight fit for that. And this, after all, might be tea tasting. Look at that. Wow. And then headwear for many a barbershop quartet singer. Boater? Is a boat a hat? Something? Actually don't know what a boater is. It must be a hat or something. And then DoorDash designation to go, the delivery service, and they can be friendly while patronizing is guests. So guests might be patronizing your business, and while doing so, they might be friendly. So this clue obviously relies on the double meaning of patronizing, which can also mean condescending. Okay, And they outrank viscounts, are earls. That's a title of nobility in some European peerages. And study, read over or read into, maybe, probably not read into. Stir fry recipe step. Add oil. You would need oil to stir fry something. Skill event that might follow barrel racing. I'm not sure, but if oil, let's see, bathwater unit, a liter of bathwater, I don't, and blackthorn. I'm not sure. What about this? Fail to be. So to fail to be a successful crossword solver, why do I not see that? And this is abbreviation near 0. All right, hitting some resistance now. Doing, I don't know, it could be onto, I'm doing that, I'm onto that. Yeah, that would work with read over. Maybe I'll put some things in speculatively and see if they add up to anything. Sometimes I do that and just try and remember that these things are not necessarily entered with great confidence. Skill event that might follow barrel racing. Let's just say, what if I put oil in here? Let's just try it all. Skill event that might follow barrel racing. Barrel racing. What is barrel racing? I don't know. Is that running in a barrel? Is that running over a barrel as a sort of wheel? I don't know. Bathwater unit. This could be liter. Assume it'll be the American spelling. Oh, no. It's not the American spelling. It's in fact the British spelling. And Bath is the city of Bath in the southeast of England. And so this happens, I've mentioned this before in the crossword. Sometimes you'll get a location, and the purpose of that location in the clue is to indicate that you're going to be using that location's dialect or spelling in the answer. And in this case, a unit of water is a liter, and the British spelling of liter is L-A-T-R-E. Okay, so that is correct. So these might have all worked out, actually, somewhat surprisingly, to be honest. And what was this? Blackthorn. Okay, that I'm not sure. Oh, slow? Is the plant slow? Is that known as blackthorn, maybe? What is this? Sith superpower. Over something? Over... I have no idea. I just don't know. This better not get out. Be quiet. Be secret. This better not get out. I'm not sure. Playing God, question mark. So the question mark, I think we haven't had many of these in this puzzle. Actually, well, I see another one here on 52 down. But anyway, the question mark is the pun indicator. Some kind of pun or wordplay is going on. Playing God. I'm not sure. Skill event. Blackthorn. Fail to be. To fail to be. And accumulation. It could be a load or lots or tons. Accumulation. Blank Enchanted, 2004 romantic comedy, Ella Enchanted, which I don't think I've seen, but I've certainly heard of. So what about this now? Abbreviation near 0. Oh, it could be operator on a touch tone. I'm not sure what I did. I must have hit something on the keyboard. I thought I lost my crossword. All right. Abbreviation near 0 could be operator on a telephone touch tone keypad, which I suppose is something. I wonder I actually don't know. Do phones still have the operator abbreviation on them? Because we don't really call the operator anymore, do we? I suppose they probably still do on landlines? Is the operator? I actually have no idea. Does the operator still exist? Is that still a function that somebody performs? I have no idea. Fail to be. And what was this? Accumulation. It could be a pile of something, an accumulation of something. Oh, Sith superpower. Evil something? It's funny to put the judgment about your power in the name of it. Evil. I don't know what it is still. It's frustrating. And the abbreviation Right. This is the ellipse. So what's the abbreviation of it? Oh, I see. It's not the ellipse. Sorry. It's not the ellipse itself. It's not the punctuation mark, the three dots, the ellipse. It's what that implies. It's what that conveys or connotes usually, which is etc. So we're going to abbreviate etc. etc. There we go. Okay. And playing God. Playing God. Creating, as in playing the role of a god? Is that? I'm not sure. I think read over is incorrect, actually, now that I look at this. And this better not get out. Tell no one, maybe. Fail to be. Oh, aren't. Yes, okay. They fail to be effective crossword solvers. They aren't effective crossword solvers. There we go. Okay, so Sith superpower. Evil. Oh, evil empire. I see. So it's not, sorry. That's actually a clever clue because you can read it, I think, pretty plausibly in a completely different way. And the incorrect way was the one in which I read it first. I suspect that was some intentional misdirection. So this means a superpower as in a nation, or, a superpower, a political entity. In this case, the empire, the evil empire. Not the superpower as in a power possessed by someone with sort of superhero style powers, which is what I thought. And so on to doing this. Study looks like maybe read up on. So this is actually probably wrong. Although Blackthorn looks like slow might actually be correct there. So maybe that's right. I'll leave it there for now. And study could be read up on. Playing God could be creating. There we go. So performing the role of a god, creating. And miroir image. So this will be mirror in French, and the image in a mirror will be myself, me. So moi in French for me. And doing doing up to. I'm doing a crossword. I'm up to a crossword. I wouldn't say that necessarily, but what are you up to? What are you doing? The crossword. Solving the crossword, in fact. And here we have skill event that might follow barrel racing is roping. This must be some sort of rodeo thing, I would think. No. Uh-oh. Oh no. All right. I'm gonna have to scan through the puzzle and see if I can determine what I've done wrong. Sorry about this. Tea tasting, yeah. Maybe this is wrong. Italian verse form. Why did I think that was Riva? Save love. Could it be Rima or Rima for rhyme? Rima probably. It is, okay. Got that fairly quickly. Why did I think that was Riva? I must have been thinking of something in particular that put me in mind of that. That was completely incorrect, and I'm glad that occurred to me, because Save Love was an incredibly plausible song title for me. And that went in there relatively early in the solve. So presumably, because this was a hit song, probably many of you watching knew that I was completely incorrect in my assumption that it was Save Love. That was silly. I really should have. That was very ill-advised. Two speculations crossing one another. Not very smart. Anyway, at least I spotted it. So there we have it. Rima for rhyme, I suppose, Italian verse form. I don't know the specifics of that form, and I don't know why I thought it was Riva. Very strange, because the I was correct. So I must have been thinking of something. Who knows? Anyway, that was, I think, a really nice Friday themeless puzzle by Matthew Stock and Sid Sivakumar. I do remember enjoying Sid's previous puzzle that I solved on the channel at some point last year. So I'm not surprised that I enjoyed this one. Wireless charger is a fun, long clue. That's the kind of thing where you think, I wonder if that's the first time that's appeared in the New York Times crossword. With those big grid-spanning answers, that's always one of my first thoughts is, has this been used before? Because they're so difficult, I would think, to fit into a grid. And it's a fairly, as the clue indicates, it is a modern term, so it's not one that would have had decades of possibility of inclusion in the crossword. So let's see. Some tough crosses for me. Certainly, well, this one that did momentarily defeat me, Rima and Save Love. And I think there might have been one or two other tough crosses. I don't know. I could see Khan and Avia being tough, although Khan, if you had these other clues filled in, there aren't very many vowels that would fit in this, so that might be okay. Anyway, I'm curious about operator, and I'm curious about to what extent the role of operator still exists, telephone operator, and I'm curious about verbiage and the precise connotation of that word, what it implies in this particular context. I suppose it must mean sort of particularly verbose verbiage, something like that. I'm not sure. I need to look it up. But that was a good crossword with some really fun clues. Donations for life as Ova was fun. This Sith superpower I think was incredibly clever. I like when you get these clever clues that don't need the question mark indicator, because this is literally correct. I mean, it's using superpower. If anything, in the I suppose the longer used sense of the word superpower. I mean, I'm guessing that superpower referring to a political entity has existed longer than the usage of superpower as applied to something that a superhero does uniquely. So very clever, and certainly got me for a while. Yeah, a good crossword. Enjoyed it. Nice when you get those little echoes, like when repeated with tut tut and night night. Anyway, a fun one. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me know. Did give me some resistance throughout, but it's a Friday puzzle, so that's sort of designed to do that. And I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. Hope you enjoyed the solve. If you did, please do subscribe to the channel. You can see these videos as they go up each day. I've still been doing the daily Wordle, so if you'd like to see me solve each day's Wordle in under a minute, which I must admit does require some editing to get it down to under a minute, that's up on the channel every day as a very short video. And in fact, yesterday's I think was well under a minute, because I did it in 3 guesses. I actually did today's in 3 guesses as well. Haven't edited it yet, so I don't know how long it will be. But that's been a fun little thing to toss up on the channel each day. And more bonus solves coming soon. I have, I'll need to record the speed solves of the mini puzzles for Patreon subscribers. And as always, if you are a Patreon subscriber and you have any, well, even if you're not a Patreon subscriber, I guess, if you're considering becoming one, if only I solved this one particular thing, then, let me know what you'd like to see me solve on the Patreon feed, in comments here, on the Patreon itself, in a Twitter message, wherever you want. It doesn't matter. Anyway, thank you so much for viewing today's Daily Solve. I hope you'll be back tomorrow for the Saturday puzzle, possibly the most difficult puzzle of the week and our second of 2 themelesses. So do return for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.